I can't believe you're actually here in South Carolina.
It is so stinking hot here.
It is hot, it's humid, and this is a comfortable day, April. It really is. But you came all the way from Virginia. We're 2 states apart, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I'm glad to see you face to face.
I am so excited to be here. And for our friends watching us, Marilyn and I haven't seen each other in
3 years, I think it was, at a writers' conference in 2000. Well, no one went to anything last year in 2020.
No one went anywhere in 2020.
And 2019, I went by myself, meaning you weren't there.
Right.
And then in 2018,
was the last time we physically saw each other
and connected with our book with some publishers, and so it's been a long journey.
It has. And if everyone's wondering, how do you write a book together when you live in 2 different states, and you how do you do this? We are happy to have the internet. And
Zoom was our gift to us.
A lot of Zoom calls and a lot of emails back and forth, and
scheduling our time on the phone.
Yes.
And it took a while, because though we are thrilled, and the reason we're making this video is because our book is going to be released on September 28th. And if you're watching this in October, it's already on the market. But it has been a long time in coming.
Yeah.
It was a lot of rewrites, a lot of editing. We have an awful lot of deleted files that will find a home somewhere.
Yes, not because they weren't good, but only because we had to decide what stories we felt were the most pertinent
for the theme of the book. And we changed themes several times.
Right.
It was, this isn't working, so we went back to the drawing board and whatever. But it has been a wonderful journey, and as you can tell, we're a generation apart. We live in 2 different states, but we were connected because of something we shared in common that, frankly, we wish we didn't share in common.
Right.
And April, why don't you tell how that came about?
Well, how we met? Okay, so I first met Marilyn, I guess, online. Marilyn was an editor with a book that is no longer in a publication that's no longer.
It was a devotional compilation that ceased publication.
Right. And so I had submitted several devotions for publication, and she accepted them, and I was so excited. Only to find out that company was small and ended up closing its doors. But we began a relationship that way, and we became Facebook friends, and she shared articles and I shared articles, and one of the things she shared was she was talking about secondary losses and grief, and so much of what Marilyn talked about I resonated with, even though Marilyn's loss was through the unexpected death of her husband, and mine was through unexpected illness. I could relate to her. I could relate to her grief. I could relate to her pain. I could relate to her struggle for needing a new car, a new house, a new identity. Who am I? And all of these things, I felt like, I feel the same way. I didn't lose my spouse, but I lost my health, and subsequently my career and everything else. So both of us, our lives have been turned upside down.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then we thought, well, I wonder if we could collaborate on something, because there's a common thread there. And that's how we came together to think, we could write more than an article. We have a lot of material here for a book. And one thing led to another, and as I said, lots of rewrites, lots of changes, lots of roadblocks, because we'd send our proposal and they'd say, it's good writing, but we don't think we could fit it into our publication schedule, so no thank you. And we heard that more times than we'd like to count. It was well received even at writers' conferences, and then it would be crickets. So to speak. So in the waiting, we learned a lot too. And I think that is something we'd love to leave with you, that waiting is an important something. a lot happened in our waiting. We prayed a lot. We changed our direction of our book. We shared together.
God reveals a lot.
God reveals a lot in waiting.
In waiting.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's not wasted, just like pain is not wasted. You know, as I say, I unexpectedly lost my husband to a fatal heart attack. April had to totally change her lifestyle when she was diagnosed with a chronic illness. But God doesn't waste those experiences, and so we're willing to share them. And that's what happened when we wrote Destination Hope, a travel companion when life falls apart. And one of the verses that when we finally got the contract, and as we are sharing on our websites, one of the verses that was so meaningful to us is found in the book of Isaiah. Do you want to close us off with that verse, April?
Isaiah, I think it's 60:22. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. And that has been one of our anchor verses, not only for writing this book, but also in our lives, because it's not just about what's happening in our book and what we want, the hope that we want our readers to have, but also we have lives separate than each other. You know, we have families and we have issues, and we have refrigerators that break down and air conditionings that break, and it's very difficult when you feel like you're waiting. And so in that waiting season, when the time is right, the Lord will make it happen.
And He may not change the situation, but He will change you and your perspective. And that is one of the primary messages of our book, that we ask you to hold on to hope.
Hold on.
He is hope.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye. We'll see you later.